we, as a collective, as a society, we've become very disconnected from the earth element. We're very, I'm going to go into some Ayurvedic terms, like how we're advancing technology is, we're getting faster and faster and faster, is really bringing an imbalance to the Vata dosha, which in Ayurveda, Vata is air and ether. And so that makes you even more ungrounded. It makes you lighter. It makes you like spun out. And so the earth element is really crucial to connect to the earth, and that everything we need, like our food grows in the earth. But if we continue to destroy these forests to build more technology or huge cities, then we are going to lose a lot of this medicine. Just like a lot of food is being lost, like seed saving is really crucial for Native Americans, just to have those indigenous seeds, or they'll get lost. But with the plants, they're there. Like if you look outside, there's even weeds, your simple weeds like dandelion and cleavers and nettle. These are weeds, and they're so medicinal, and they grow everywhere. They grow all over the world. And if we can just, people could just get to know those few plants, like people that are new to plants could get to know those few plants, and they have such potent medicine. So my idea of medicine is, you got to look at food too, the person's constitution, food. You can't, it's not necessarily just give them a plant and it's going to fix everything. You got to look at the whole bigger picture of what's going on in their life. But everything we need is out there, outside. Like I've had moments where in my life working with plants, like the plant will appear in your yard that you really need. Like you wouldn't even plant it, it just appears. Like literally one day you walk out and you're like, wow, that's a new plant. And it's usually a plant that you need to be working with. If you notice it and it just appears, it has medicine for you. And it's just like daily maintenance of your health, opposed to just waiting till it gets so bad that you do have to rush to the doctor. Just daily maintenance of having herbal tea or certain herbs mixed together that are really going to bring you strength or calm your nervous system or help with anxiety, so that you don't have to be on a daily medication for anxiety, because there are ways to work with anxiety for people. You can really get to the root of the problem through your emotional state, your diet, and plants, and then you're getting to the actual root of the problem. The root of the problem is where we want to get to, and plants do that. Where Western medicine, if we're taking a lot of drugs, we're going to the doctor and getting pharmaceuticals, it's just putting a Band-Aid over a Band-Aid over a Band-Aid, and it doesn't go deep to the root, and it actually causes more imbalances, because a lot of those drugs have side effects that bring your constitution even more out of balance. And then you have to go even deeper to heal the root of the problem. And granted, there's a time and place for medication. I'm not anti-Western medicine. I really believe in integration, and it's not happening. Where, like, say you go to the doctor and they're like, an example would be I was in Hungary. I was traveling there, and part of their medical system, if you go to the doctor and you're having pain or if you're having certain ailments, the doctor will give you a prescription to go to the thermal pools, because in Hungary there's thermal pools because it's all hot thermal water under that city. And they have baths everywhere, these hot springs all throughout the city. And they give the person a prescription to go there for a certain amount of time, and they get in free, and they have a special wristband, and they have a prescription of how they're going to work with the water to help heal whatever ailment. So that's like an integrative approach, right? He's not just like, here, take this medication for your pain. They're working with the water element to the warm water. And that also can bring spiritual healing too when you're working with water. So, I don't look like plants just as medicine. There's so many other things that could be medicine, like connecting to the nature through walking or hiking or different ceremonies. But for someone who's just starting out, I recommend they connect with a few plants on a spiritual level and start ingesting them, sleeping with them under their pillow. Like there's certain plants like mugwort that are dream plants for help you dream, to help you connect with your dreams. And so many messages are in our dreams. And mugwort is so strong. You can hang a bundle above your bed and you're going to start having really profound, prophetic dreams. Like when people come to me and say they don't remember their dreams, this is something I would tell them to do. Like get mugwort, hang it above your bed, start journaling. This is a form of medicine. You're using the plant mugwort and you don't have to ingest it. You're just hanging it above your bed, and it could help someone with their sleep. There's certain things that maybe they have insomnia, it could help them sleep better. So the plants are so amazing because there's so many different ways you can work with them. And with the Western world, where I would get so annoyed when I would go to like a doctor when I was younger, like in my 20s, I would go to a doctor because I was having some stuff and going on, and they wouldn't even like ask you what's going on in your life. What are you eating? Like that's the first question. If you go to an acupuncturist, you could do a full intake. What's color your tongue? What are you eating? What are your stools like? What's your stress? Are you happy in your life? Like when I went to India, the Ayurvedic doctors in India have to become doctors. So they go through a whole training. They have to know how to read Sanskrit, the ancient Ayurvedic texts. Ayurvedic medicine, Chinese medicine are the oldest medicines, ancient texts that have not been lost. And I went there and did a consultation with them, and I lived there for a month. And he would always come in every day and do an intake for me, a consultation, because every day things shift, and maybe yesterday I needed ginger, but today I don't because I'm feeling hot. So maybe I need something a little cooling. So it's good to know like every day what plant you need is going to shift. And the one thing he said to me was like, he looked at me and he's like, "Are you happy in your work?" And I was just like, oh gosh, I've never had like a doctor ask me that. And I was just like, no, I'm so miserable. Like, because I was doing some work I wasn't that happy with. I wasn't like quite on my path. But when they take your pulse in Ayurvedic medicine, they can feel the pulse of your parents because it's reading your heart, and they can tell what constitution your parents were through your pulse. And when someone takes your pulse, it's like they're directly connecting with your spirit. And so a lot of these ancient medicines, this is medicine, taking someone's pulse and reading it in a different way than how a Western doctor would read it, and missing a lot because there's so much in the pulse that in the Western world they weren't trained. They're not trained on that level of depth of what is hidden in your pulse, that you can really tell he could tell the imbalances I had from my mother's imbalances and how they had like come to me on an emotional level. So that's potent medicine. That's profound healing for someone.